Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Gregory Martin, aka the Super Producer, and we're back with another review. Now, before we get into the review, please don't forget to smash that like button, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. It keeps you notified whenever I post a new video, and it also helps the channel grow. And with that being said, let's just jump right into today's review. And today we're reviewing the movie Strange But True. So the film starts off introducing us to a mother and son, Charlene and Philip, played by Amy Ryan and Nick Robinson. And we see early on that there is some type of tension, and we don't really understand why in the first, 5 to 10 minutes. Then comes this new character, Melissa, who we find out is the ex-girlfriend of Philip's brother, Ronnie, who we see immediately is very pregnant, and she's coming into the house claiming that Ronnie is the father of the baby, except Ronnie has been dead for 5 years. So like any rational person or mother, Charlene tells Margaret, "Get the f out of my house, you lying bitch," more or less. But as ridiculous as it sounds, instead of just dismissing this claim that, she's having the second coming of Jesus Christ, the family actually goes down the route of possibly believing that this baby is their dead son/brother's baby who's been dead for 5 years. Why can't you just take a DNA test after the baby is born and that will answer everybody's questions? And this interaction causes, the family to really go down this rabbit hole. And Charlene contacts her ex-husband and, it's come to find out that he's been actually helping Melissa with a lot of things, not sex, since Ronnie's death. She's been having a hard time of coping. So he took it upon himself to find her a place to stay, to pay the rent, and just really take care of just a bunch of other things. And Melissa is living at this cottage with this older couple, and it's here where we eventually find out the truth. Melissa isn't Mary. She's not Jesus's mother. Unfortunately, her pregnancy is due to a crime that's been committed against her. The man of the house has been drugging her with roofies and raping her. That is why she's pregnant. And then in a weird twist, the other thing that this movie was doing was kind of flashing back, and we see that all these central characters were connected to Ronnie's death in a way. Obviously the mother, the father, the son, Melissa, and actually this guy that Melissa was staying with was actually the cop that came to the scene of Ronnie's death. Now, I am a little disappointed with this film. The film started out with a lot of promise. It had a really strong premise. The whole thing with the pregnancy in the first, 10 minutes was something that really got me out of my seat and made me sit up and really pay attention to what was going on. But I don't think it was really clear early on of what track the film was going to take. Like on one track, the mom believes that there is a logical explanation of this pregnancy. Even some extreme ones, but at least they were rooted in science. She suspected that Ronnie's sperm was somehow frozen after he died. And then on the other track, you had the son, the brother, Philip. He more so believed that this was some kind of, miracle, I guess, in some form of fashion, So I was kind of confused on these two approaches, and maybe the idea was, to take these two characters on two different paths, create more tension, and then at the end, they would kind of converge back together with the truth, with bits and pieces of both. It was a bit confusing because I just didn't understand, what type of film I was watching. I wasn't sure if this was going to be like a supernatural film, if it was going to turn horror, or if it was just a thriller. But I did find the film watchable. It was just very predictable at the end. I don't know much about the book that the movie's based on. I don't know how true that they stayed to the source material or whatnot. I found it at least interesting enough for them to actually adapt the script. It had the workings of a pretty good mystery story. This movie could have been, 30 minutes because the whole pregnancy thing could have been debunked fairly quickly, because the DNA test would have easily concluded that, Ronnie was not the father. it would found out that the old guy was obviously raping her. But hey, you know, movies and logic don't always find each other in the same room. Well, that is my review for Strange But True. I hope you guys found this review helpful. Please tell me what you think in the comments down below. And as always, don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.